everyone, it's all welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday. Today's video is going to be my predictions on the new Bradley Simpson song Cry at the Moon, which will be available on Friday the 22nd of March. Before I begin, I'll go into detail of who this singer is. Basically, Brad Simpson is a singer and he's best known for being in a band called the Vamps. I'll be talking you through the albums that they have released so far. They have been going for 11 years this year as a full band and 12 years when they first started out on YouTube. I will also be linking their channel down below, so if you want to check out any of their songs or the covers that they did prior to releasing music, then that is available if you wish to see that. Okay guys, let's begin. So what I'll do is I'm going to be talking you through my thoughts and feelings on the song, what I'm predicting the sound will be, and also I will be talking you through the albums that they have already released. So the first album that they released was of course this baby right here, Meet the Vamps. I absolutely love this. This was what got me on the Vamps ladder, so I absolutely love this album. I actually listened to this all the way through year 10 and year 11. It really gave me a boost through my latter stages of secondary school, and it helped me through a lot of things like college and then helped me graduate. The sound on this is definitely more acoustic and country themed, especially Wild Heart and Girls on TV. They're my particular favourites, especially all the big songs as well. It really brings everything upbeat and they really know how to get a party going. I have seen these 9 times before. I am crossing my fingers that they will tour again, so this will be my 10th year seeing them, and I just think it's a really nice album and a great way to introduce them to the band and also relive a little bit of our youth, because I was only a teenager when they come out. So my favourites off the album I would definitely say is Last Night or Somebody to You. I am thinking we could see a hint of these in Cry at the Moon. I really hope that he retains the album 1 sound, but we never know because we may have grown up a lot since then. Followed by Wake Up, which is definitely more 80s themed. I would definitely say my favourite is Rest Your Love. It is very MGMT synthesised, and I also think that it's seen them leave the genre of like the country and more acoustic theme of the first album, so it definitely shows that they have broadened their repertoire, shall I say. At some point in the video the word will spring to mind. Anyway, so it's definitely got a lot of synthesised and 80s themed sound in there, in particular with Rest Your Love, Windmills and Halfway There, which I absolutely love. That was on my Spotify on repeat 2023. I absolutely love that because it really helps me get through my day. And then it's just, I love the message in the song with Why Stop Now When We're Halfway There. I love the theme that they've got of the blue, like the sky blue that they've got in the 2 covers here. And I like how they've retained it because I think that was what they are best known for to do. All of the CDs are in my, I think some of them are downstairs, or a lot of the time we used to just keep them in the car because we used to play that pretty much every single day when I went to school and when I was going to college. So I'll just show you the cases here. If I had to choose a favourite on Wake Up, I would definitely say my favourite is Stolen Moments, because it's a one that you can really do with the crowd. And whilst this is more of a, it's not a traditional piano ballad, I would definitely say it's a one along the lines of your Flying Without Wings or You Raise Me Up vibe that you do with the phone lights. Now then, moving on to the much more grown up. This was come as 2 albums, so I'll talk you through the first album here. The one I got here, I actually got this one signed. This is the traditional Night and Day. This is the night edition. It's definitely more nightclub themed and more of a grown up sound. It does have 1 or 2 bangers in it, so, and I would probably say that it's one of my least played, because when I heard this the first time it came out, when I went to the Middle of the Night tour, I actually saw them twice that year. So I think my favourite one is the Shades song, but is Shades On, which is track number 6 here, because it's so summery and it's just really gets you in the mood for the summer, and the fact that they're going to give you a great night. Although I am really surprised that they didn't release this as a single, because I have a feeling this would have went quite high in the charts, and even if it got top 10 I would have been really happy, because at least it's nice to see somebody else dominate the charts for a change. I'm not sure if I've got any like real favourites on this one, because like I say, I didn't really play it because at the time this come out this came out, I was only 17 at the time, so I was still the very naive stages of my youth, and I feel like it was a bit grown up because it's like the sort of music that you hear in a nightclub, and then I wasn't really into going into nightclubs, and well, I'm still not, but now and again I might hear it in pubs, especially in summertime, because a lot of the time you hear this in outdoor gardens. I also noticed that the booklet inside is also double-sided, so this is the original Night and Day night edition. One free DVD goes with it for it was the Wake Up Tour 2016, so you do get a free concert DVD if you wanted to relive that tour, which was also the previous year's tour, so it is definitely a trip down memory lane. And on the other side you have just Brad on his own, because this is the Brad edition that I quite like, because if you're wanting to chop and change what you see on the front, then that option is available. A really nice touch for the Night and Day night edition album that you have a flippable booklet, because you might not always want to see all of them on the front. Now this one here, this is the day edition, and this is definitely my least played, because although it's not as grown up as the previous one, night edition, it does retain some of their roots, shall we say. So definitely the colour scheme I've noticed is on the night edition it looks more like nighttime, but it's definitely got a city landscape. It reminds me a bit of Vegas from the air, like as if you're flying a drone over it and you were trying to take a picture of it. And the colour scheme is definitely more summery, because although it was a summer release, it is definitely more like your sunsets that you will get now, especially as we are going into summer. But for the day edition there is definitely more of a sunrise theme, because it's got like oranges and like the steep red all the way through to this really pale yellow colour here. This is the original day edition, again includes a free concert DVD. No flippable booklet on this one unfortunately, although I do have the Brad edition, and I also showed you my full merch collection, which I did in a separate video, so I'll not be going into much detail of this one. So that DVD is from Live at the O2 Arena 2017. What I would say is there's not many songs on there that I like night edition, so I'd say it was difficult to choose a favourite of this one. I've also noticed that they've also got the night edition songs on there, like included with this one, which again keeping in with the theme of the night and day, because I have a feeling they've wanted to keep things consistent. I think if I had to choose a favourite, I would say maybe Personal, that they did with Maggie Lindemann. I actually also did a makeup look based on what she wore in the video in 2020, so that will be available on my channel if you want to give that a view. But if I had to choose either between that or I would probably say Just My Type, because they play that a lot on the tours quite a bit. Ever since they did the Four Corners tour, although they did play it at the Night and Day tour, I quite liked how they did it live. It was just I didn't know the song at the time, so I couldn't really join in. But when they did it on the Four Corners tour, how they did the sound on it was interesting, because on the original track, Just My Type is more of a keeping in, it's not quite stripped back, it's got the more electric guitar vibe sound to it, whereas it's more of a, if any Latin dancers out there, if you get what I mean, any dancers that know the sort of music that you play, it's very Latin themed. So because the sort of like sound on Just My Type, it is traditionally a cha-cha Latin theme, but when they do this live, they really up the oomph on the guitars and on like the kit. It's definitely more live focused, because they want to like really interact with the fans. In terms of like the sort of going with the dance theme, in the original it's more of a Latin cha-cha, whereas when they play it live it's more of a Argentinian tango sound, so it's a lot more boisterous when playing live, because they really want to give it all the energy that they've got. In the last album that released, now this was done in quite an extraordinary time, and this is the great Cherry Blossom. Cherry Blossom was released in 2020, so this was during the COVID-19 pandemic when we couldn't really do a lot yet. Oops, I've just broken the broken the casing on here. Now, I got this for my 21st birthday. That was in lockdown, so, and I did a full review on the album, and I also did some reaction videos for the 3 singles that they released. So that was Better, Married in Vegas, and Would You. So with the booklet, there was definitely a pink theme, and I've heard countless interviews of where the name came about. It was where they were out in Japan and they were wanting to look at the idea of starting over. So Cherry Blossom is, they said it was the signalling the rebirth and starting over. And when Cherry Blossom, because this is highly appropriate, is like starting into spring, because a lot of the cherry blossom is starting to bloom on the trees. So on this one here, this is the first booklet where they're not featured on the album. It is a upside down V, which signified the start of a new era, which I'm hoping Brad might do a booklet like this when he finally comes to the time where he releases his first EP. And I love how interesting it is, because the cherry blossom, it looks a bit like a upside down triangle snow globe, like triangle, it's an upside down V actually, with the cherry blossom resembling a snow globe like feel. And there's also a really nice lake as well, which definitely gives it off a vibe similar to the famous American painter Bob Ross. Now with the booklet, the running theme with the booklets is they don't put the words in, unfortunately. So when I was younger, I had to either hear it all by ear and work out what I think it is. Many occasions of getting the words wrong. And I've also noticed that on the back cover they put the thank yous, where they, in the previous albums, they have done that page before they put on the back cover. So all of the albums are really good, and I would definitely say that although this was released in a time where we weren't able to do a lot of things music wise, it has proven that we are able to do something in the most extraordinary circumstances. Now that we have talked through the 5 albums that they released, I'm going to do my predictions on what I think the new song Cry at the Moon will be. So Cry at the Moon, like I said in the introduction, will be available from Friday 22nd of March. So if I had to choose between the albums, I would say I'm hoping they retain their roots on Meet the Vamps and Wake Up. But I do think you may keep the Cherry Blossom theme, because it is a little bit more grown up. And he is 29 this summer. I think he would definitely, if veering away from the Vamp stuff, a lot of people have predicted, and I know a lot of my family have thought that it'll be a traditional ballad because it's the theme of crying at the moon, so it might be a sad song. Whereas another band that are renowned for doing their sad piano ballads is Westlife. I actually saw these at the end of 2022, and it was my first time seeing Westlife, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually vlogged that day as well, so if you want to watch my Westlife video, I'll link that in the description box below. So I do think it might be similar to your classic Westlife, or you could have a half and half video where I think it might be very similar to a song called The Pretender, made famous by punk band The Foo Fighters, where in The Pretender it starts off slow as a stripped back piano first verse, and then when you go into the chorus it really beefs up with the electric guitars and bass. So I think overall Cry at the Moon will be a very half ballad, half punky sound for Brad's debut single, because growing up he has loved a lot of bands such as the Foo Fighters, and he also likes the Arctic Monkeys. And when I was going through his inspiration playlist on Spotify, a lot of the songs on there were Foo Fighters and or Arctic Monkeys singles. So I do think that it'll be a different side of Brad, because I don't think I've ever seen, and none of the Vamps albums have ever seen, a half ballad, half really electrified guitar sound away from playing it live, because they do want to make it interesting for us, because a lot of the time if they just stuck to the original track it would just be boring. So at least they are playing around with their features, and they can definitely bring their live sound to an album like they did on Cherry Blossom. Okay guys, to conclude, I would definitely say that it is I'm hoping that they keep that upbeat Vamps sound, because this is his first solo single, and I really want him to keep his original scene where he revisits his roots. Okay guys, that is my predictions on the Vamps' singer Bradley Simpson's song Cry at the Moon. I will be doing a full reaction video on Friday 22nd of March, so stay tuned for that on Friday tea time from 4 PM, where I give my response and my feedback on the new single. In the meantime, be sure to hit the bell, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon for another video. Thanks for watching.